and into it he poured his mending, his cruelty, and his persistence to dominate all decks in the modern format. Alright, what is up my friends? Welcome to the Monday video here on CoolStuffInc.com. Back to the modern. I know, of course, Innistrad Midnight Hunt just came out, so it's playing a few standard decks, and now we're going to jump into modern, where Innistrad Midnight Hunt is also making its presence felt with the card Faithful Mending. White-blue instant, gain 2, draw 2, discard 2, flashback for 3. So, of course, Faithless Looting, banned in modern, and Faithful Mending, legal in modern, and that's basically all we need to know, right? So, of course, not as good as looting because it costs 2 instead of 1. However, the life gain is a nice little buffer. Being an instant's really cool also, and then it's just an enabler for graveyard stuff. So what we have here is sort of like a hybrid control Reanimator deck. Now, of course, Modern Horizons 2, it's hard to understate the impact Modern Horizons 2 has had on the modern format. But it gave us the duo here of Unmarked Grave and Persist, sort of like the non-legendary Entomb Reanimate. So 2 mana, search for a non-legendary card, put it in the bin, and then 2 mana, return a non-legendary creature from your battlefield and make it -1/-1. So that, of course, joined with Archon of Cruelty, the new reanimation target of choice. Phenomenal card. Comes into play, they sack a creature, you draw a card, they lose a card, gain life, basically everything, honestly. And even if you put this into play for 1 turn and they just kill it immediately, you've still gained like 4 cards worth of value, which is pretty powerful. So the goal is to get Archon of Cruelty in the graveyard and get it back. But again, kind of a nice little control element here, because the deck isn't really all in on the combo. We have Faithful Mending to go find it. We also have the new Consider, which is a slight upgrade to Op, but very big in this deck because you can mill a card. And then we have, excellent interaction here in Thoughtseize, of course, and then Prismatic Ending, another one of the best cards in Modern Horizons 2. It feels like every modern deck these days is literally half cards in Modern Horizons 2, which I don't necessarily love, but it is a really cool, powerful card, of course. And then for Counterspell, technically a Modern Horizons card, but an all-time classic Magic card. So Counterspell is obviously very cool. Mending, leave up Mending, say go, counter their spell. They don't play anything. Flashback Mending is super cool. And a really, really good Teferi deck. Teferi is already very good in combo decks because you get to defend your combo. They can't counter it. They can't interact with you. And it's also just really good in this deck as there's tons of cards you want to cast at instant speed on our opponent's turn. We can Thoughtseize them in their draw step. We can play instant speed Prismatic Ending. We can persist back an Archon of Cruelty in their draw step, make them discard a card. Tons of nasty, dirty things we can do with Teferi in this deck, which is pretty awesome. So we got a mana base, makes a lot of sense. Sideboard's got a few extra big chunkers in it in Terastodon to kill lands, other weird permanents, and Void Winnower for decks that are really big on even mana values. I'm not sure what decks those are exactly, but we'll stop them in their tracks. Leyline for graveyard decks, Flusterstorm for kind of like spelly decks. Chalice of the Void. One of the crazy things is that Prismatic Ending allows these decks to play Chalice of the Void, which is kind of wild, but also I want to play this on 0 against the Cascade decks. Fatal Push, Engineer Explosive, Spreading Seas, all pretty usual cards in the sideboard here for any Esper deck in the modern format. So, deck seems super, super cool. It's doing really, really well. It's been played by a number of people. There have been a number of versions. This particular version is by Mana Symbol. Mana Symbol as in symbol. And they went 5-0 in a league. There have been a few versions. Aspiring Spike's been playing this deck. Guillaume Waffle-Tapa's been playing this deck. Some versions more controlling, some versions more combo-y. But this is one that looked best to me, so I'm trying it out. Again, Mana Symbols list. So let's get right to the games. First, quick word from our sponsor at CoolStuffInc.com.
CoolStuffInc is proud to sponsor Jim Davis. We offer great deals on card games, tabletop RPGs, board games, and more. Get a free token featuring Jim Davis and take 5% off your next order if you use the code JIM5 at checkout. CoolStuffInc.com. Cool stuff in stock.
All right, round 1 here, and open up with a nice whopper of a hand. That's great. Triple a mulligan here. Opponent mulligan also. We are on the draw of this game. A mulligan into Persist, Prismatic Ending, and some lands. This is fine. Now, it's interesting because this deck kind of actually wants to draw Archons. We can discard it to our discard effects. We're going to keep this. I'm going to ship a land here. Let's see. So Persist. Marsh Flats will probably just get Triome. Our colors are pretty good here. You can discard the plains. Have a a lot of colors and options here. Spire Bloof Canal. Cycle Curator of Mystery. So some sort of living end deck, which is kind of amusing because, like, we want to get cards back from the graveyard also. And they're going to grief us. Alright, so they're going to take Persist here because Prismatic Ending and Archon of Cruelty are both cards they don't want in the graveyard or don't need. So, pretty rough start. Pretty rough start. They exiled an Architects of Will. Some sort of living end deck. I guess there only has one living end deck, so it is the living end deck. Thoughtseize Bug. We draw the exact card they remove, which is fine. And yeah, I'll play Marsh Flats here and just say go. Intent on getting our Triome. There's one Sultai Triome in this deck. To have the 4th color of mana for Prismatic Ending. Pretty low opportunity cost. Cycle Curator. Play land. Tapped. Sure. Would love to draw Faithful Mending. That would be our best possible draw here. As a Polluted Delta. So play Delta and say go. And unfortunately, if they're able to living end, even just now, I think this is enough to kill us. It's just 13 power. Or 11 power, I mean. Yeah, it's pretty good. Alright. I mean, our hand wasn't particularly great this game, and their hand was quite good, so I guess that'll do it. It's unfortunate how we actually have a lot of things that are really good against this, but probably not to be this time around. We'll see what we can do. Suppose if we were able to draw, I'm not even sure, honestly. We're getting griefed here, too. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty hard to, we draw, like, Teferi, we can bounce something, and then maybe, like, draw into Mending, plus, I don't even know. But, or another Archon. I mean, I'll keep playing, I suppose, but, so, blue, white, green, ending. An inauspicious beginning to our league. That's okay. That's okay. It's still modern. You know, some decks just have a really good hand on turn 3, and there's not much you can do when you mulligan, so. They're going to shock, and they're going to hard cast a 3rd Curator of Mysteries. Now, it's funny, some of these Esper decks are actually playing Supreme Verdict as a Wrath, which is pretty cool, too. Yo, bro. All right, so pretty hilarious first game there. No worries, no worries. We have to bring in a lot of cards, honestly. We have to bring in Chalice the Void, try to play on 0. We have to bring in Leyline to the Void. We can bring in Void Winnower, which counters spells that are even. Is that worth bringing in? And then Serra Emissary on pro creature seems pretty good. I mean, like, we got to consider what we're cutting here. We're definitely cutting 4 in endings. It's not even close. And then, love the idea of Teferi. 23 lands, Counterspell. I'm not even sure we need Counterspell, honestly, because we have so many other permanent-based ways to deal with their stuff. Also, an argument that Flusterstorm is just better anyways, so I guess. And Flusterstorm actually works under Chalice. Oh, I'm sorry, Chalice on 1, never mind. We're playing Chalice on 0. So you do like this. And we want Nasty to Rasty or no? I'm sorry. I'm mixed up. I'm mixed up today, folks. I'm good. I'm not mixed up. You're mixed up. All right. Do you want this Void Winnower or no? Can't block with even mana values. Can't cast spells even mass. They can't cast. Can't cast their Cascader. I don't think we want this card. I think Serra Emissary and Archon is better. So cut these cards. Bring in our multitude of hate cards here. Not to mention the fact that Teferi just hard hoses the Cascade mechanic anyway. So this should be a really good matchup for us. Just to be aware. So we open on a hand that's it's only a 1-lander, but it has both parts of our combo and a Chalice and a Leyline and a Teferi. We're to keep this. We're drawing any land, any opt, any Thoughtseize. We have Leyline. We've got Chalice on 0. Like, there you go, opponent. Have fun. Have fun. Do you have force of negation? Now, of course, they can't just cast spells. They can just cast their Curator of Mysteries, things like that. So we need to, like, we do need to draw some stuff eventually, but I think we're in pretty good shape regardless. They're going to force the Chalice, but we still have the Leyline in play. So now we need to like also answer a Leyline while also doing the regular game plan too. So Daniel sacked him. We're not going to fetch here. So we're not sure what colors we want yet. And we don't want to like marginally have a higher chance to draw land. So or another Leyline. Perfect. Perfect. God, I hate Leylines. End step cycle. And I really, really, really hope we draw the 4th Leyline next turn. I really, really, really hope we draw the 4th Leyline. Like, please draw the 4th Leyline. I want it to happen. One of my poker books I have talks about the concept of like, I don't remember the actual name of the concept, but it's when you're so tilted, you like actively want bad things to happen to you to like reinforce how tilted you are. Let's do it. 4th Leyline. No, not quite. Not quite. Now, what a first match here. This is such a good matchup for us too. Like it seems like we have literally everything lined up so well against them. All right. Well, we're going to discard a Leyline and we're going to lose the game, I guess, in a very uneventful first match here. Someone in the comments will help me out with that, right? I can go grab the book and look it up, but I'm recording a video right now, so I can't do that. But there's a name for the concept. When you're so tilted, you actively want bad things to happen to you to prove to yourself that you really are the unluckiest person in the entire world. All right, we got there. All right, we're gonna get a blue-black land, I guess. Consider me this. Mending in the graveyard? Yes. Draw Chalice. Okay. Be worse, I guess. Like we're playing Vintage right now. Just all hate cards. Oops, all hate cards. Another Fortification? Okay, sure. Wow. Alrighty then. Yeah, I guess. I mean, good first match, Jim. Good first match. Really getting the hang of a deck here. Oh, look, we drew a land. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, all right. I guess actually, hold on. I guess we could actually get the all right, sure. We'll attempt. We'll try to get the thingy. If we get Serra's Emissary, then I have an answer. We do go to 1 this turn. In theory, we could like somehow come back this game. So we'll keep playing. We'll keep playing. See what else they got going on over there. Grief. What a hand they have over here. What a hand. They beat like 5 pieces of hate. I guess I didn't actually cast any spells, but and they have the violent up. All right, sure. All right, you got it. All right, fine. Round 2 coming up. All right, let's see if we can improve on that first round, huh? It'd be hard to do any worse. So opponent's playing Lurrus. We've got pretty good hand here. We've got Thoughtseize into Counterspell or Mending. Pretty keep this one. Opponent mulligan to 6, but they are on the play. Blood-stained Mire. Darcy. Sure. All right, let's see what's up. Teferi's pretty good too. Get ourselves a Watery Grave. Is it Watery Grave? Yeah, it's Watery Grave, right? Yeah. So the old 5-ball for Thoughtseize. We see a hand of Pithing Needle. So there's a Saga deck. Thoughtseize, Inquisition. Okay. I mean, realistically, our hand is pretty redundant. I don't think that Thoughtseize does much to us, honestly. And the question is, Needle on Teferi. Once they Thoughtseize us, they'll know we have Teferi, and they can name Teferi. Is that something that's worth stopping? They can also just Thoughtseize a Teferi too, but I'm gonna take the needle here. Make them Thoughtseize Teferi. We have Mending available. Yeah, this is all fine. They'll probably make me discard the Unmarked Grave, I would think. So let's take it. Definitely a match we actually want to draw our prismatic endings. Position of Kozilek. Yep. Surveil a heat into the graveyard. Okay. Pretty sick that heat kills Archon. They also use the Foothills, not the land we already knew about, which is awesome. They take one of our Mendings. That's kind of weird, honestly. Unmarked Grave just does a job by itself. Like, Mending's pretty redundant. I would think it would be Grave and Teferi. That'd be my guess as far as what cards to take. But hey, what do I know, right? What do I know? You keep the card on top. Of course, already has Delirium because that's just how it works. And goodbye Counterspell, which feels strange because they don't have any spells left. So kind of a weird sequence here, honestly. And we're just going to cast the Unmarked Grave here because you want to guarantee having a boom in the graveyard, and then Mending does not guarantee that. So just going to play Unmarked Grave, get an Archon of Cruelty, and say go. And now we're just drawing to Reanimation Spell. We have the Teferi to bounce the Darcy and buy some time. We have Mending. I'd probably flashback Mending before I cast Mending, so dash a Ragavan, but thankfully most of our cards aren't good for them, so sure. They had a thought. Just kidding. They had a Thoughtseize. They'll crack the land and Thoughtseize us, sure. Well, now we're out of cards, but we got some big draws, I suppose. Goodbye Teferi. Persist. Delta. All right. Sure. Play flats. We're at 7 already. Lordy. Dash Ragavan. Attack with both. This is 3, 4, 5, 6. We go to 1 and then cast our Mending. Go to 3. Sure. Ragavan hits. Counters. This has actually been the most unbelievable league. But they're not going to leave Counterspell. They're going to cast another Channeler. I guess obviously it's only on this turn, but sure. All right, so we'll crack this, get a Plains, flashback Mending rather than cast it because we can we did Persist actually. So now I can Persist and in theory Mending. I think Teferi's too crappy, so that's insane. We're gonna probably win this game now. Discard Teferi and Delta, or do I keep Teferi? Because next turn is Persist back the thingy. They sack creature. We gain some life. They discard the Ragavan. And then yeah, I'm gonna keep the Teferi actually. Discard these two. Pretty insane. Pretty insane to find it. So Persist. And trigger. They sack. They discard. We draw. Oh my lord. What a comeback. Despite all that, we're right back in the game, folks. Empty-handed, Archon of Cruelty. It also kills fast. They're actually just dead. Wow, what a comeback. What a comeback. Look at that. Look at that. All right, so sideboarding. We're going to bring in our Fatal Pushes. And I'm going to cut 2 counterspells. They're just kind of clunky. Bring explosives also. And then I'll just cut 3 counterspells. All their cards are very, very cheap, so counterspell's not going to be very good against them. And, yeah, don't want Flusterstorm, don't want Spreading Sea. I mean, Spreading Sea is actually kind of interesting against them. It's literally just a Stone Rain. So all our cards cost 1, and they're all colored cards. But Leyline of the Void's also a little bit interesting. We think they're playing Unmarked Grave against my graveyard too, though. So this is fun. This is fun. I like this. All right. Hand is fine. Fine. We can keep this. It's not particularly great, but again, mulling against Thoughtseize decks, sort of whatever. So got some flashback cards here for some value. Of course, Swamp and Mending don't play together super well, but we'll figure that one out. Excuse me. I just get an island, honestly. Just island, plain, swamp. Just trying to take any damage here. Let's slow this down. Not too slow, though. Not too slow. Our opponent seems to have lost connection to the game. So we'll see where that takes them, I suppose. They're back. Crack the Bloodstained Mire. Back in the game. Blood Crypt. No Ragavan, please. JK, LOL. Persist, eh? So we get really lucky with this Consider. Like, really lucky. We got turned to Archon. Let's do that. Let's do that. Here comes the monkey. And it's going to reveal, not Thoughtseize, please. Consider. Sure. Well, a lot of our cards in our deck aren't good for them to cast. They've hit some pretty good ones, but there's Channeler, and they get to Consider with the Channeler, too. Wowzers. Second Channeler, they're not... I guess they're going to go super aggro here. Alright. They have a Nile Spellbomb. That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, we're in a bit of trouble, I think. I guess we'll let these resolve first. So we have 1 Engineered Explosives we're drawing to, basically. Alright. Cracking more stuff? Man. I can't believe in my set review I thought the Delirium might be hard to get, you know? Alright, play Consider. Top card's Godless Shrine. Put it in the graveyard? Yes. Draw Thoughtseize. A little late. A little late on that one. Bobble Me, sure. Hallowed Fountain. Ay. We need a lot of things to go right here. It's mostly just like drawing the 1 explosives. It's basically our big out here. Alright, let's just play Marsh Flats and get a Plains and cast Mending and try and draw explosives, I suppose. Like, this is a pretty wild draw. They just have 8 power in play on turn 2, as well as a threat that draws cards and a piece of graveyard hate. Alright, take a bunch. And they hit Prismatic Ending off of the thingy. And they have a discard spell. So now if we hit the thing, they would just get it anyway, so sure. Let it resolve. So if I draw the thingy, then they'll just take the if I draw the explosive, they'll take the explosives. Hopefully they just won't take the Mending here. I'm not sure why they wouldn't, because the rest of my hand seems pretty bad, but yep, pretty good choice. Pretty good choice. And Pithing Needle. Man. Every card costs 1. Don't think it particularly matters if we get any more. Close game. I guess we could draw... No, they said Spellbound play. If we drew an Archon, we could like Thoughtseize ourselves and then get it back. Wait, what? They're just gonna Spellbomb us all willy-nilly. Now I can actually literally I can just draw Archon. All right. We draw Archon or we draw a Reanimation target. We can Thoughtseize ourselves here. It's a Faithful Mending. Tilt. All right, that sucks. We draw Push, I guess. I can't believe they just popped Spellbound there. If we flashback Mending, that's like the best turn ever for them. That's great, you know. Draw Prismatic Ending. Okay. Discard a Thoughtseize and probably not Unburial Rites, honestly. And then we just... Oh, I don't have white. That's still 3/6. All right, we're just dead. All right, whatever. Like they gave us a little breath of hope there, though. A little breath of hope. All right, so that was pretty good. Their hand won't be that good every time. So, not gonna bring in Chalice on one because we just have a bunch of 1-drops also, and like it might not be fast enough anyway. So this is fine. I mean, we have endings. We have a pretty good core here. That hand was basically unbelievable. So, I mean, I suppose the hand is amusingly immune to discard spells because if they hit the Mending, we just flash it back. But this hand's pretty freaking bad. We go tap land. They go just a creature or discard. I guess they'll want to play a threat over discard on turn 1 anyway. I'm gonna keep this. I think the flashback potential on the Mending is like pretty reasonable if they have a Thoughtseize, and they're probably gonna lead creature anyway. So kind of a loose keep, but Nile Spellbomb. Okay. We draw Thoughtseize right on time. All right, we're going to Thoughtseize them. See what's up. Oh my god. They have Ren, Decay, and Unholy Heat. So pretty easy Ren, because Decay has almost no targets against us, and Heat is obviously good, but... Alright. Sure. In that awkward spot of like we don't really want to discard both big creatures. And then we also kind of want to main phase the Mending to draw another discard spell. Not that they have anything good to discard anyway, but let's play lands they go. So we're gonna try and discard just the Emissary and see if we can get them to pop this spell bomb. They popped it really prematurely. They popped it very prematurely last game, so maybe we'll do that again. Unfortunately, Saga will just get another graveyard hate piece, but all right. So Mending. Okay, so we'll discard an Archon and an Emissary. This will probably prompt a Spellbomb. No? Okay. Well, we get Archons for days, that's for sure. Make a thingy, get a second Spellbomb. Jeez. Alright, just play lands they go. We'll flashback Mending on their turn. Make construct. Make construct. Man, it's unreal how one card just makes so much power and tutors things and does everything else. All right, so they're gonna attack. I'm gonna cast. Sure, they're not gonna pop Spellbomb. So, all right, take 4, and we will flashback Mending. Consider Flooded Strand. We're actually out of islands, so we want to fetch a land to cast this Consider. It's kind of annoying. think I just get Godless Shrine and cast it on my turn to save the damage. Most of our cards are pretty cheap. Persist. It seems pretty hard to beat. I mean, start by considering River of Tears in the graveyard. We draw an ending. That's a start, I guess. We can ending one of the spell bombs, or we can persist, force them to use a spell bomb, and then ending the other spell bomb, which certainly helps. So let's persist. We're just like so like behind on it. Like the one Urza Saga just gave them like 10 pieces of material. Let's do that. Exile this. And I guess just play land and say go. I mean, now the constructs are at least like just 2/2s. I want to remind you all, of course, to CoolStuffInc.com. There's a written article that's a companion to this video, as always, on Monday on CoolStuffInc.com. Do my video article. My written article is every Friday. Last Friday's article was all about Innistrad Midnight Hunt Limited. The lessons I've learned. It's not an aggro format, but it's also not a control format. It's kind of a weird one. Check it out, of course, it's on CoolStuffInc.com, as well as weekly content every single weekday for free, no paywall. You can also use promo code JIM5 for 5% off your order on CoolStuffInc.com. It appears my opponent has lost connection to the game once again, so I will pause the video and we will wait. Seem to have returned just in time to exile my graveyard. Perfect. All right, so they're going to sacrifice it. Sure. And it's ending, play a land, say go. Suppose hard casting Archon isn't insane. Need some help here, though. Need some help. Swing and a miss. Take those small victories, folks. You got to take them. In life, you got to take the small victories. All right, Foothills, crack. And they're about to set up Lurrus plus Spellbomb anyway. Yeah. Yeah, all right. Explosives. I mean, that's like cool, but we're not beating the Lurrus plus. I think I could play explosives on 3 to kill Lurrus. And they would just die to these tokens. I would have to, like, I couldn't play it on 3, they would just decay it. So like I'd have to like hold it, let them attack for 6, play Lurrus and Spellbomb. Then I would kill the Lurrus, they die for 6 again, and I'm just dead, basically. So yeah, it's pretty hard to win, I'm not gonna lie. Yes, right on time. One turn earlier, it actually might have been pretty good, but I think this game is unfortunately about over. One black, Thoughtseize. Gotcha. Okay. All right. I don't want to play anymore. You win. You win. 0-2. All right. Let's try to right the ship here a little bit. It's been a pretty rough start. We can keep this. We have Thoughtseize and Consider. We're on the draw again. Put mulligan to 6. We can keep this. So we have turn 1 Thoughtseize. Consider if we miss a land drop. Unmarked Grave. Serra's Emissary. Good grief. Living End again. Again, should be a good matchup for us, in theory. Not sure what they take here, honestly. Like, their deck's pretty redundant, so Thoughtseize is like fine against them. Teferi is obviously the card that knocks out their Cascades. They're going to go for that, sure. All right, we draw a land. Look at us. So lucky. So lucky. So we're going to just Thoughtseize first. See what's up. Turn 2 Mending. They actually have not much. They have a Waker of Waves and a Curator Mysteries. We'll take the Waker because that provides a little scry there. Yeah. All right, so they don't got much. They actually mulliganed. I guess they just mulliganed to 6 day Grief, so Grief is definitely a pretty taxing card. Cycle the Curator. We have Unmarked Grave available 2 next turn if you want to just fire that off. Probably want to cast Mending though. River of Tears. Okay, so play Delta, say go. They're gonna Grief again. Just gonna allow us to resolve. They have 1 card left now. And like, if I cast Mending, they'll get whatever good card I draw. And if they take the Mending, I still have Unmarked Grave. I'll just cast Consider instead. So, take the Mending? Sure. So we're going to cast Consider. It's a Plains. Put that in the graveyard. Draw Thoughtseize. Okay. We'll get ourselves a blue-white land here. Untap, and probably just, if we do Counterspell too. All right, well, we're going to be casting Thoughtseize, so let's start there. They have 1 card left, and it's not a land, and it's probably not a cycling card either, so probably a Cascader. Nope, it's a land. They hold that land? God, what an animal. What a good play. They just held the land and didn't play it? That's a heads-up play. That's a pretty good play, honestly. Good play. I was in the play. No, wait. They were on the... Hold on. Yeah, they just held the land. What a sicko. What a sicko. I love it. I love it. All right, so now we're going to play on Unmarked Grave because they can't draw... I guess they could draw a Cascade card, but... I guess Mending, putting the big creature in the graveyard matters too. Yeah, we're going to cast Unmarked Grave. So they draw a Living End. So maybe I wanted to cast Mending in response to their Grief and just put the big creature in the graveyard, but we have this anyway. So now if they cast Living End, I get back my Archon, which is obviously an insane thing for us. Did they know did they scry or something? They just know their top card was a Cascade card. And they would hold the land in their hand, and and trick me. And then just draw the Cascade card too. All right, I think we're still in good shape here, though. Like, we get to attack with Archon of Cruelty. I think they're just dead. Like, so we draw off that. They Grief Bolt the spells out of our hand. We should attack with the Archon and gain more life, kill more things, draw more cards. All right, well, it's not a lands, but sure. All right, here comes Archon. So we gain 3, kill that, draw another land, sure. Seven, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's a lot of damage, but all right, that's Mending. Thoughtseize, Consider. Let's discard Thoughtseize and one of these fetch lands, play land. Consider on their turn, get things ready for next turn. And they're just going to concede. Sure. So, pretty wild game there. I might have made an error not just putting that Emissary in our graveyard. Again, it feels like a really good matchup because, like, we have so many answers to what they're doing, and then so many of our cards just line up well against them. Or if I just cast an Unmarked Grave before they go off, I just have an Archon, and Archon pretty much beats them. So, let's cut all the same sideboard as before. Bring in the Leylines, bring in the Flusterstorms. And let's try this again. And again, I think the post board we're like insanely favored. Obviously, we lost round 1 anyway, but All right, a Leyline and a Consider keep. We also have Arteferis too, so put in Leyline. Got Flusterstorm too. Not too shabby of a hand here. Second Archon's a little iffy, but... So what land to get is a little tough here. Want to buy one Esper Triome. Cycle a Riverwinder, sure. And they're going to grief us. I mean, we're going to cast the Consider because we want to draw lands, so... If they take that, we're kind of in trouble. So let's get a... I think it's a Watery Grave. And shock. Cast Consider. Top card's Godless Shrine. Put in the graveyard. No. Alright, so now you have lands, which is good. And our hand's pretty redundant. They probably take Flusterstorm here, I think. And then we're just drawing to land for Teferi. They got to deal with Leyline too, so... Take one of the Teferis, okay. They exiled a Living End, sure. Crack Misty. Cycle Curator, sure. River of Tears. Cool. Cool. Now, we could, if we're feeling like super conservative, try and wait for land 4 to play Teferi with Flusterstorm back up, so they can't force negation it. They don't have any lands, so... Oh my god. I never going to do that. Just play lands they go. Because, like, if we cast Teferi here and they Flusterstorm... I mean, they force negation it, and they have a bunch of spells in their hand because they have no lands, obviously, that just feels really bad. We'll just wait, hold up Flusterstorm. As long as Leyline's in play, it's pretty hard for them to do anything, so... Alright, draw land or persist. Let's say go. We can also Flusterstorm Brazen Borrower if we have to also. Cycle Wraith, sure. Cycle Wraith, sure. There we go. So, Hallowed Fountain. Cast Teferi. Because they pitch Force here, I can't Flusterstorm it. So that's 1, 2, 3 spells. That's true. Maybe that was wrong. I don't know. But I still, the most important thing is I still have Flusterstorm up, so. Crack this. They've pitched a lot of cards so far. They only have 3 cards left. So they need to answer this, actually build a graveyard, and have a Cascade card, and beat my Flusterstorm. So. Delta, okay. End step, green, 1 endurance. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of annoying, but sure. And they're not going to shuffle these cards back in. They don't want to give me the Teferi. Sure. Cycle Waker of Waves. Look at the top 2. Untap. Mending. That's pretty good. All right, so we're going to blue, white. Yes, Mending. This should probably do it, unless they have another archetype or whatever. Endurance. I can actually cast Thoughtseize first now. Discard Archon. It's probably just Archon. I don't need a million Archons, so. And then we'll just cast Thoughtseize rather than use the Flusterstorm, because they could have. Hold on, actually, let's do. They could have a Endurance. Let's Thoughtseize them. Outburst, Curator. Okay, so that's basically the game. Lock it up. Yeah, cool. Much more like I would thought it would go than that first match. All right, so on the board, 1 and 2. 1 and 2. All right, on the board, on the play. And we got the old Mystic Gate Swamp hand, but pretty hard to mulligan Thoughtseize into Unmarked Grave into Persist, so we're going to keep this. Do love me some filter lands. Makes sense in a deck, obviously, with Counterspell and the Faithful Mendings, but... All right, Thoughtseize, yeah, opponent keeps 7. And their hand is Basic Mountain, Basic Swamp, Shadow Channeler, Drown Bolt, Ragavan. Can I give them a Jim D hand of the week? The old Basic Swamp, Basic Mountain, Death Shadow hand? Yeah, sure. So take Ragavan, they cast Channeler, we ending it, if we can draw a thing. They have a Drown Lock, but they have no blue to cast it, nor do I have cards in my graveyard. And I also have Teferi, so alright. Yeah, that's a hand. That's definitely a hand. Alright, you're up. I would really wish it was a Hallowed Fountain, but Basic Swamp, Basic Mountain. Just a real outlier kind of hand. Mountain. Darcy. And obviously Mountain can't cast Drama Lock either, so Serra, Emissary. Alright, let's just do the old Unmarked Grave. And get the old Archon. And say go. So they have 1 turn to come up with a discard spell here. What a ridiculous hand. Just a funny hand, you know? And like, it's even funnier because of the Drama Lock. If they were just like Rakdos, like whatever, but like, oh my god, that you ever Thoughtseize. This is unbelievable. Alright. That's what I get for making fun of their hand, I guess. So, let's just draw a land. That means we can cast our spells. So they kept the card on top too. If they draw a blue source, it means we should draw a land that can cast spells here. Or an uncastable spell. Okay. This has been some league, let me tell you. This has been some league. And now they kept the card on top, it's definitely a fetch land for Drama Lock. I guess the good news is I can, like, if I draw a land that filters, I can make 2 white and cast 2 endings. Oh, man. Yep, as predicted. I'm surprised they didn't bolt me, honestly. Put an instant in the graveyard, try and get the Delirium going. Alright, so draw a land. No. No. Oh, man. Oh, there's a bobble. Alright, so now they have Delirium. And, like, really surprised they haven't bolted me. Just a scry. Puts a card in the graveyard. Gets Delirium. They're not bolting anything else, right? Attack for 3. Hold up the Drown in the Lock. Still no bolt. Maybe they want to bolt themselves for Death Shadow. I guess we just cast this, right? Because we can't cast anything else anyway. Just get like a Unburial Rites for like some future date. All right. You are up, my friend. It's still no bolt. Darcy trying to go coast to coast here. I think it's me and my swamp colorless land. Darcy number 2. Can you please draw land? Please? Thank you. Lord. Lordy, lordy. Alright, we can't get a duel here, so we'll just die. So let's get a plains. Make double white. Oops. Cast an ending. See how they're just going to pop the lock immediately. Wow. They probably drew a second drama lock, that'd be my guess. That's why they're so willing to do this so aggressively. Mill Scalding Tarn. Mill Polluted Delta. Counter that. Play the other Prismatic Ending. They have 6 cards in hand. All right, so we go to 4, and they have a bolt in their hand. I mean, there's no way they don't have a second drama lock. There's just no freaking way. Consider. All right, well. It's probably not going to work, but here it is. Wow. Okay. Okay. I mean, now they can't bolt because I have Teferi in play. Is there like an actual chance we can win this game? We draw. We have Unmarked Grave next turn. I mean, Unburial Rites next turn. Dash Ragavan. Now we're dead. All right, sure. Say Dash Ragavan, just bolt us. I was like almost close there. If we had like 2 more life points, we might have won that game. I guess I could have killed the Teferi, but all right. It's not a very fun game there. Obviously, didn't cast any spells that game really, and we're gonna bring in our Fatal Pushes. Probably our Flusterstorms. Honestly, counterspells seem really bad to me. It just like always trading down on mana. It just seems not great. But I got the Serra Emissary also. And then I got a 3rd counterspell. It just doesn't seem good. Like we can use Flusterstorm to win a counter war, but like counterspell is just so clunky and hard to use. And then am I interested in explosives in the game? I just cut all 4 counterspells. All of our cards cost 1. And trying to counter one of their cards with a blue card just seems really stupid. Alright, so let's try it. They're also playing 61 cards too. Nice, the old 61 card special. We can keep this. Alright, you are up. Discard spell here isn't too bad. Obviously, we have double mending anyway. Might take Flusterstorm regardless. Darcy. Bobble. They keep the card on top, which is scary because you're highly incentivized to want to just bin cards as fast as possible for Delirium. So means probably a really good card on top, which is not good for us. River of Tears. Just say go. Fire out the mending. Not going to try and play on a counterspell here because if they counter it, I don't really care. Discard spell here is whatever resolves. Dash Ragavan. Interesting. I mean, again, a lot of our cards aren't good for them. Some are. Thoughtseize, Opt, or whatever it is. But like for the most part, a lot of our cards just like are blank for them. So sure. I think people dash Ragavan like a little too much. Yeah, like exactly. Like they have an Archon of Cruelty. Cool. Dark Ritual, Dark Ritual, Dark Ritual. Yeah, so now we're just like tapped out with no threat in play. Like I think people dash too often, personally. Gonna get a Hallowed Fountain. Just get a Plains, I guess. Let's get Plains. We got cheesed that last game on damage, so. Play Mending. Draw 2, discard 2. Another Mending. We also drew a Prismatic Ending, which is pretty nice. Discard Archon. Oh, it's Archon and Mending. I don't need that many Mendings. Dash that back to hand, and now they're just like kind of off the board. And committed to tapping 2 every turn for Ragavan. Alright, so another ending. Let's cast this. I suppose it does defend it against ending. But and play Flooded Strand and say go. Bets. Shock. Dash the monkey. I don't think we're casting Mending on our end step. Did you consider? God. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. They top the card again, too? Just a topping machine. There's no card in my hand I want to discard right now. And just don't think we're going to rush to cast it. Just going to get a Hallowed Fountain. So they have 6 cards. Untap and draw a Mystic Gate. We're going to flash back this Mending, so we're just going to play lands, say go. Alright, I mean, like, again, they're just, like, tapping all their lands to attack for 2 every turn. So. Fetch, shock again. 7 cards in hand. Dash Ragavan. We do have push in our deck, but I think we're going to wait to the end step. And again, like, I would say, 2/3 of our deck is a bad hit. They run reasonably well off of it, but like all of our lands are dead. All of our fatties are dead. Our Mendings are dead. Our Archons are dead. Thoughtseize is the perfect card, obviously. Ay. All right. I guess we just Flusterstorm this. That's the card they're going to take anyway, which is not to show them our entire hand. Let's actually, I'm sorry, hold on. Let's actually flash back the thing in response. Because this way, if they try and counter it, we can like counter bolt spells with Flusterstorm. Just redraw 2 more lands. Oh my god. Somebody please stop. Alright. I guess we're just discarding 2 lands. I don't want to take any more damage, so. Alright, sure. Okay, I mean, we gotta find some spells here. I'm not gonna lie. They're at 10. They play a Shadow. They don't know we have Ending in our hand, which is good. And they play Soul Guide Lantern. Okay. Consider me this. And they can still have a counterspell up here too. God. So we can ending Soul Guide Lantern. We need to draw. We need to draw like both parts of our combo anyway. I don't even know what we're doing here, folks. I don't know how we're gonna win. What's in the graveyard? Draw Thoughtseize. Okay, I guess. Thoughtseize you. And is Channeler, Ragavan, Heat, Drown. Okay. So ending this, I guess. We're gonna die otherwise. I just don't know how we're gonna beat their lantern, you know? Like, we just don't have anything left. They just have so many resources. All right, dash Ragavan. They hit a Fatal Push. Play another Shadow off the top. And play a Channel. All right, so we'll just draw our one of Explosives, actually. That's what we're going to do. I decided that that's what we're going to do. Oh, God. One of Explosives, please. Let's go. Play Mending. Mending Ending. Crap. Well, I think we're dead, folks. We can't beat the board and the lantern. A little surprised these decks aren't playing more explosives, honestly. Seems very, very good. We've been in multiple spots where they just have like a 1-mana hate piece in play and multiple 1-drops. They have Luris too. Yeah, I mean, it's also pretty sick they just set up like the Luris plus hate card combo. I only have one card in hand. I mean, if we draw exactly explosives this turn, we probably still can't win, but they're going to play my Unmarked Grave, scry twice. It's honestly interesting playing this over playing Luris. Let's see what they put in the graveyard, though. Put a Shadow in the graveyard. Doesn't really make sense because they would just Luris back the Soul Guide Lantern every turn. So we draw Thoughtseize. Great. All right. Tough game. Tough game. Round 5 on the play. Let's go. Let's have a nice. Never mind. Let's have a nice functional game here, you know? All right, we're going to keep this. If consider one lander, we're keeping. Definitely keeping. land go. Urza's power pole. At least our counterspells will be good here, you know. That's good at least. Counterspells have been really, really bad so far. Unmarked Grave to the graveyard. Draw Thoughtseize. Draw land. JK LOL. Thoughtseize ya. Just actual Trons. This is pretty good. Take their Sylvan Scrying and hope they don't spike Tron on us. There are some lands too, I suppose, but pop for green. Play power plant. Say go. Draw land. Okay, we did it. We drew a land. All right, let's say go. Now you have Counterspell plus Mending up. This is like what the deck's trying to do. This is match 5. We finally accomplished the task of saying go with Mending and Counterspell up. The Wombo combo. Big turn here. If the opponent plays Urza Saga and says go, I'm really happy. Okay. Obviously, Saga will find map eventually, but that's eventually, not yet. Cast Mending. Discard Archon and Archon. Untap Triome, really punishing us here. Thoughtseize. So, don't really want to cast Thoughtseize here. If we just spike Tron, then we just get rocked. Just going to play tap land and say go. Leave a Counterspell. We can Teferi bounce their Saga token, I guess. We'll see what we draw. You can also, if you draw a land, you get Teferi Thoughtseize, which is great too. End step. Tap 3 colorless. Just kidding. That's not how Urza Saga works. It's not that good. You can't make 3 tokens off of it. That would be obviously just ludicrous. Forest. Sylvan Scrying. So we're going to counterspell this because this gives him Tron. So they have Karn, Wormcoil, card in hand. Another counterspell. Sure. So, all right. Let's just Thoughtseize them. Leave counterspell, I guess. Of course, the problem is they're eventually going to get Tron here. So, 2 more power plants, a Karn Liberated, a Wormcoil, and a Karn the Great Creator. So let's say Karn the Great Creator. It's easy, the easiest card to cast off non-Tron, and also gets hate cards and stuff like that. So do that. Say go. Already have Archon on the bin. No need to Unmarked Grave. We could get a Unburial Rites, but they might just get a Relic here, which would suck also, honestly. The amount of graveyard hit we played against so far in this league has been kind of unreal. And like, it is kind of cool that this deck can play Prismatic Ending and Teferi to like deal with the hate, but like, this has been pretty ludicrous. All right, so untap and draw Prismatic Ending, which is cool. But of course, I have a Mystigate in play, so I can't successfully cast Ending on Relic and still leave up a Counterspell, which just sucks. Should play Teferi and bounce this Karn Struct and go from there and see what we draw. And they spike Tron on me, so be it. You know? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Draw Persist. Okay. That's actually pretty cool. Because they don't pop the Relic. So if they didn't pop Relic there, I could have done some tricks where like I plus the Teferi ending the Relic, they pop it in response to cast Persist, which would be really cool. But all right, I'm just gonna have to get back on the old horse here. Prismatic Ending plus, say go. Now we have Grave up at instant speed along with Counterspell. Up, they do Tron. Okay. 3. 7. They're one short of playing the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One short of playing Karn also, but we're gonna counterspell this. If they have another threat, so be it. Whatever. Another Worm Coil? Yeah. Okay. You draw Unburial Rites. Let's just say go. I mean, we could have obviously not countered an Unmarked Grave for an Archon, but like they just have 2 Worm Coils then, which is pretty hard to beat. So we'll just like allow them to attack this. If they cast Karn, we'll counter it. If not, we'll play Unmarked Grave. Obviously, a 4th land here would be really helpful, as all of our cards cost 2. Chromatic Star, sure. It is turn 8. We have 3 lands in play, you know? Eugene the Spirit Dragoon. I guess we just have to counter this, right? I mean, yeah, I don't, yeah, all right, sure. Like, if that's in play at 9, we can never resolve anything anyway, so they have Forest, Power Plant, 2 cards in hand, 1's a Karn. So just draw, untap here and just draw land. We did draw land. Here's Unmarked Grave Archon and just kind of hope it's good enough. They can obviously exile with Karn, but we draw some cards too. We have Unburial Rites also. What else are we going to do? This is obviously where Terastodon friends come in handy. I have a sideboard. All right, so they discard, we draw, they sack the Worm Coil. We draw Counterspell. It's timely. And all right, so they get to drop Karn. They discarded the Karn, actually. They have 2 Karns then, because Karn obviously exiles the Archon. Yeah, so exile Archon, and then it's on us to draw something good over the next turn or 2. We can ending both of these worm tokens, which doesn't really feel great, but that's pretty good. All right, yeah, I mean, we need to draw land, I suppose, but Unmarked Grave for Archon. White. They also need to brick too, but white. Exile that. White. Exile that. So they go. They plus Karn. We discard Counterspell. We draw land, and we cast Unburial Rites. Trying, folks. I'm trying my best. Mappin for an Urza Saga. Okay. So multiple sagas in their deck. Exile Counterspell. All right, big draw here, folks. Looking for an untapped land. Untapped land. I don't know if it wins the game for sure, but it definitely is. It goes a long way. Did it. Did it. Our luck's turning around. Archon of Cruelty. Come on down. Take their 1 card in hand. Hit their Karn. Draw me a card. They discard an Urza's Mind. We draw Persist. Let's rock and roll. Saga goes up. Sphere for the redraw. We're obviously at the mercy of their big draws here. You know, Karn, Ulamog. Okay. Consider. Thoughtseize. Graveyard. Draw. Plains. Hi. Alright. And now we're gonna get a card Karn out of our hand. As well as Karn struck tokens. I mean, now they just have to like make a token, get a relic. This card's so dumb. This card should not make a second token. It's unreal. Just terrible design. I wonder if that was their intent or not. It makes one token. It's a super fun, super cool card. Making 2 tokens is just so egregious. Alright, that's another relic, I guess. This has been the League of 1 Mana Artifact Graveyard Hate. A third Urza Saga? They're really sagaing it up here. It's interesting. River of Tears. Apt. An apt card to draw. All right. Tough game there. Tough game. We're going to bring in our Terastodon. Our Spreading Seas. It's basically it. Are we interested in Chalice the Void? Chalice on 1 doesn't stop the Urza Sagas either. We kind of want the endings because they answer the hate cards. We can get rid of the Serra's Emissary. Honestly, Teferi's not very good here. Excuse me. Teferi's not very good here. Shape Teferi's. Pretty easy, I think. Those relics, though, you know? Those relics, though. I'm interested in explosives, maybe, to kill the relics. Let's bring the explosives. It kills relics, it kills Urza Saga tokens. Alright, on the play. Persist, Archon. We're gonna mulligan this end. Sure. Don't love it, but sure. We're on 6. Opponent's deciding on a mulligan or not. We have Thoughtseize. We have ending for a turn 1 map or star or whatever. Or relic, obviously. They keep 7 cards. Keep this. I'm gonna ship the redundant Persist. Get a blue-black land. Shock it in. Thoughtseize it up. Their hand is Stirrings, Sphere, Star, Karn, Wilt, Saga, Tower. So pretty easy Stirrings here because now they don't really have much going on. Just some wheel spinning. So there you go. Karn, of course, is also Graveyard Hate with the ability to get a Tormod script. They're going to play Saga, Star. Okay. Saga, of course, will turn into a map. We draw Consider and start there. Oh, we got super lucky. Yes, put Archon in the graveyard for sure. All right, now we're definitely just gonna ending the star here. Just take our shot. Exile that. No card draw. No green for them. And persist back this turn 3 Archon. Yes, please. A turn ahead of their Saga getting a relic. You love to see it. You love to see it. They discard a Wilt. We draw an Unmarked Grave. And we are happy, happy, happy. Joy, joy, joy. Saga. Can see it. Okay. Cool. Game 3 on the draw. Am I interested in any Teferis? I obviously want extra ways to do a relic. Actually, I'm going to draw. Yeah, let's bring 2 Teferis back in. I also kind of land on the draw. On the draw, we have Considers and Spreading Seeds and stuff. Mendings. And Explosives. I mean, this is bad. I'm just got the Explosives. I'm not gonna land too. I've got the Triome. We don't need it. We don't need a ending on 4. It's just been slow and crappy. Alright. Big game here. Big game. Game 3. Match 5. Try and salvage something here. Not been super impressive as deck, I'm not gonna lie. There's just so much graveyard hate. And then I guess our hands have been really, really bad. We've really struggled to put things together. But all right, we're gonna keep this. I'm gonna keep 7 again. I just keep 7 every time. It's a new Tron deck here. Turn 1 Saga. Alright, so really just going for that turn 3 relic. It's pretty good, I suppose. Yeah. I mean, guess we'll fetch. Try and spike our Archon on top again and get really lucky. Better lucky than good, right? I mean, they're gonna have relic before I can persist, which is pretty gross. Okay. Please hit the Archon. Nope. Thoughtseize. I guess we're gonna keep this. We have Counterspell up for next turn, and then we Thoughtseize the turn after. Unmarked Grave. I mean, of course, the problem is they just have Relic, but alright, just play lands they go. If they get map a relic here, it's gotta be relic, I assume, right? Yeah, it's never not relic. Play Tron land. Just don't use their mana at all. Sure. All right, so we're gonna get into a little slow game here, which kind of favors them, but get Hallowed Fountain, untap, Prismatic Ending. Must be nice. There we go. Now we're cooking. Let's get nothing. I'll just play this. Play this. It's obviously a 2-4, but then I just draw a card off of it, but whatever. We have Counterspell up. Next turn we have Grave plus Persist if we want it. Natty Tron. Must be nice. So, we'll see how we draw here. We're obviously going to counter whatever they cast. And then I would love to go Thoughtseize, Unmarked Grave, and Persist, but cast Karn with mana up. So we have the counter risk, obviously, because they could get a graveyard hate piece again. And then hopefully their follow-up isn't too good. 3 floating. Nothing. They have 6 cards in hand. 6 is so many cards. We draw a Faithful Mending. We're just gonna do it. They have a Karn, it sucks, but if I Thoughtseize them and they just have multiple big things, we just can't stop them anyway. And they didn't cast any stars, spheres, relics, maps, anything next turn with that floating mana, so just probably just have 2 big things. And Archon at least puts us up a few cards. I don't even have anything good to mend, so all right. Trying to get into a slugfest with Tron. Maybe not a good idea, but I have Terastodon. I'm so dumb. Never mind. I totally forgot I had Terastodon on my deck. I'm sure the YouTube folks are yelling right now. Jim, you have Terastodon, you moron. Just get Terastodon. All right, nasty Terasti. Kill 2 of their lands. Let's kill all 3 lands. They have 3/6/3/3/3s, and then I have time to draw and do another thing. I just kill all 3 actually. Sure. Nasty Terasti. Totally forgot about Nasty Terasti. Now I have all the time in the world to draw and do other stuff. We got Mending, Flashback. I'm going to cast Thoughtseize. You don't cast Thoughtseize when you Snowrain your opponent, right? An army of Oliphants. Man, Terastodon killing Urza's Power Plant, Urza's Mine, Urza's Tower is pretty sweet. I'm not going to lie. Power Plant. Go. Archon. Love it. Mending. Mending Ending. Okay. So we could just ending one of the elephants to attack, honestly, and Thoughtseize them too. Sure, scrub Mending. And yeah, let's Thoughtseize them, see what's up. Hand is Stirrings, Karn, Kozilek, Wormcoil. Wow. Wow. If they spike Tron, we're gonna lose anyway, so just take a Stirrings. Shock this. Play Ending. Attack for 8. They attack for 3. I attack for 8, gain 2. They attack for 3. I attack for 8 and kill them, so Terastodon math is always fun. I'm flashing back Mending next turn, so map. It's their roadmap to success. Probably not, but attack with 1/3/3. Draw Thoughtseize. Flashback Mending. Archon Persist. Easy game. Easy game. All right, we did it. Nasty Terasti comes through for the W. So yeah, I will say that I do like that the deck is not 100% all in. We can definitely deal with Graveyard Hate. I think Prismatic Ending and Teferi are just like really, really good cards to do that. But the sheer volume of 1-mana artifact Graveyard Hate cards in the Urza Saga Lurrus format is pretty dense. I wouldn't mind having a little more focus on some other way to win or just something else. I also thought Counterspell was pretty bad. It only plays really well with Mending, and it's just like a little hard to cast to the point where like I almost would like a Remand or something like that. I mean, I'm not saying that that's necessarily correct, but like it's just like kind of awkward, kind of hard to cast. Teferi seemed very good. I think Teferi was pretty awesome. I don't know. Deck certainly looks cool, and Mending was certainly passable, but there only are like 5 cards we actively want to discard off Mending. It's like we're playing, like Arclight Phoenix, where we're just like trying to churn through spells and stuff like that and trigger thing in the ice and whatever. Like, so I don't know. Not sure. Deck definitely looks cool, but I'm a little iffy on it. I'm a little iffy on these Mendings. Not even sure if Consider's correct either. And then once like Mending and Consider aren't there, we're splashing for Counterspell. So like, there's cool stuff happening here. I am a believer in the Persist Unmarked Grave engine. I called Persist my best in show for black in my set review of Modern Horizons, so might have ended up being wrong. But yeah, so the deck's definitely cool, but I think we're not really there. We're not really there yet. I'm not sure. There are other versions that play that play more controlling elements. Maybe I could try one of those too. But that's what I got today, folks. I'm Jim Davis or CoolStuffInc.com. Again, thanks for watching. Appreciate it so much. Go to Cool Stuff. Check out the companion article. Go shop on Cool Stuff. Promo code Jim5, 5% off your order. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching, folks. Appreciate it. Have a good one.